And we are back. And we just finished watching Cotton Comes to Harlem from 1970. It's rated R. It's got a runtime of 1 hour and 37 minutes. We saw this on Prime. And I have the lovely Sonny with me to review this film. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah.
This was based on a novel by Chester Himes with a screenplay by Arnold, Perl, and Ossie Davis, who also did his directorial debut at this film. This stars Godfrey Cambridge and Raymond St.
Jacques,
who do a really great buddy cop story. And it's interesting because you don't really see a movie with like an all-black cast with two really interesting, strong black characters who are not only that, but also cops.
Yeah, I love these guys because Coffin Ed and Gravedigger Jones, what a bunch of names.
I know, I was going to say.
It's completely over the top.
Yes.
But like what it is like what you first notice about the movie is everybody in this movie is scared to death of them.
Yes.
It's like they have to deal with their own racism because even though they have that one commander that loves them, well, not loves them, but he allows them to do what they want to do. Mm-hmm. There's that other one who's in charge, the real boss.
And he's kind of a dick about things.
Yeah, he's the racist guy. But he also is the guy that kind of lays out what they are, which he's right, they're too quick with their hands, two black maniacs on a powder keg. Like, I wish I had took notes about that part because the speech is way too long to get into. Yeah. But it's just sort of like quick with their hands and quick with their mouth, quick with their guns. And it's true because these two guys make Dirty Harry look like
a schoolgirl.
A schoolgirl crossing guard or something. You know? Like, I think the only time you ever seen Raymond St. character, which is Coffin Ed, smile, it's probably about almost 2 hours into the movie. This guy never smiles.
Yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, yeah.
He never smiles. See, what it is I've read a few of the novels.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. They've actually softened Ed up because in the novels, Ed had acid thrown in his face. So he's scarred. Oh. Right. And so it's the reason why he's so mean. Right. And Gravedigger is supposed to be the calm one, which fits Godfrey completely. Like, Godfrey was a stand-up comedian back in the day. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody's heard of Watermelon Man, but he's the guy that did the original Watermelon Man. He did some smaller parts in some Pam Grimm movies where I think he plays a gay fashion designer, I think it is, in Friday Foster. Something along those lines. They made his biggest issue was his weight because you can tell he's not really a tall man. Mm-hmm. And he's always been heavy. Mm-hmm. So for this movie, they got him slimmed out and smoothed out. Like my man never takes his head off, so you don't see the hairline, but everything else is cut. Yeah. Like his sideburns is crisp. Yeah. Mustache is crisp. Like, it is smooth. Yeah. And then on the other side, you got Ed. Ed is just boiling. Yeah. Like, he's 6'3", he's tall, he's lean, and everything with him is just like simmering. Yeah. One is a little looser with the jokes, but they're together, their chemistry is so great. Yes. That they're funny as hell. Yes. Even though they're not trying to be. Yeah. Like, this is supposed to be a serious movie, but it's not. Yeah. Like, it is a serious movie, but they make it funny.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to say. It was like, I don't know. I mean, is it a comedy or is it dramatic? I mean, it has elements of both, but I don't think one outweighs the other. So it like meshed both of those genres pretty well. And then you have like the action sequences and stuff. So this movie was great because it was like a little bit of everything. There was like this over the top silliness to it. But then you also had like the more dramatic, more serious moments, and you had like a really nice, and then the story itself flowed really well. I didn't feel like it dragged anywhere, and all the characters were just larger than life. Like,
Chester Himes I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
He loved to he creates these over the top characters on purpose. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, let's take it back. His first book you might be familiar with, because he was living in Paris when he wrote this, was For the Love of Immabel. Now, right, which was a movie. It was adapted into a movie called Rage in Harlem.
Yes.
It started Gregory Hines, and if you look in the movie, Coffin Ed and Digger Jones are in the movie, but their roles are much more reduced as opposed to what happened in the 70s. Because when you read his books, the focus is usually on those other characters as opposed to the police officers themselves. See, Chester. You would think I'd get the name Chester right. Chester Hines was a criminal before he started writing books. He was, I think if I remember correctly, he was a second-story thief. So he got locked up for a lot of years. And then I think one of his first books might have been If He Hollers, Let Him Go. But he wasn't really making a lot of money. And somebody suggested to him he does a crime book or some cheap pulp stuff. He didn't know how to write a crime book. So the guy suggested, why don't you take a situation that's completely over the top and build a crime around it? So what you get is an over-the-top Harlem, which is a lot more colorful and a lot more violent than Harlem actually was. So originally the books were written starting in like around 1957, late 50s, early 60s. Now this book in particular was written in 65. So at that point we were smack dab in the civil rights movement and people was burning stuff and we already had lost Malcolm X and things along those lines. So Harlem was a different place than originally was shown. By the 70s, it was post everything. And we were in a different place with that as well. Rage in Harlem, more or less, pictures of Harlem that was the one that my father grew up in. That was the Great Day in Harlem photograph picture. Got a lot of working people, and it was a lot different than what you got with Cotton Comes to Harlem. Which was people who were already beaten down and just trying to survive. And as opposed to a thriving community that Harlem used to be. So the French were a little torn because they looked at the books and saw this over the top stuff. And really that wasn't Harlem. So they come to America, they were expecting to see like bang, 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 stuff in the street. Right. But when you want to make a movie based on characters, situation like that, it has to be comedy because that's the only way you can go because everybody's so broad. And it even fits our society today. Because like when you look at Deke come out, the first thing you see, Deke O'Malley, played by Calvin
Lockhart, right.
Calvin Lockhart was supposed to be the new city portier.
I could see that.
Bahamas. He did a couple of movies with city portier, but he had bad attitude. That's why he never blew up. But he was set up to be that the man. And when you see him, the first thing you see, he takes the robe off. It's the color personality. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in that movie looks smooth. But that was how he was able to trick people. The girl that plays his girlfriend, Iris.
She was great. Oh my God.
Pace. Judy Pace, beautiful woman, gorgeous. I'm not really into slim women, but she does a thing for you. You know, look, the police officer, Jarima. Which I never known a white guy named Jarima. So they was just, I think they was trolling us with that one. But the way she ropes Jarima in like what a couple hours. She had him drooling. She had his pants off. She had him in the bed with a bag over his head. And he went from being like, "Don't worry, baby, Jarima's smooth." To Jarima's just like, I want it. I want it. Everybody was so broad, but it worked. It's like it was broad strokes. And it was colorful. The color palette was there.
For sure.
If you look at the clothes, even though everything was supposed to be dark and dingy, it was like all the characters that stuck out were supposed to stick out. You've seen it. And then it was old Uncle Bud.
Oh my God, Red Fox.
I figured
that ending was so amazing.
That was his movie debut.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
that's so
Red
funny.
Fox was a Harlem resident. He used to be known as St. Louis Red. I think it was St. Louis Red. And it was him. It was Malcolm X. They were all redheads. He was living in Harlem at the time, or he'd been in Harlem a lot. And he got cast in the movie.
That's
of all
hilarious.
places. Because like if you look at a movie like something recent, Summer or So by Questlove, the one that just got the Oscar. Red Fox is in that movie in the uncredited role, and he was just hanging out in Harlem. in 1969.
Yeah.
And they asked him about the moon launch. And he was just like, yeah, we don't care about that. Like, we care about what's going on down here.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not, if you look at it, and it's not like they put comedian Red Fox. It was Red Fox was just a person of Harlem.
Yeah.
And there you go. It's a person of Harlem in this movie who just happens to be one of the greatest comedians that we ever lived.
Yes.
You know? And debuts. And and has a really big part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That ending like made me laugh. Oh my God.
And if you notice, by the end of the movie, his color palette changed too.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody who had the glow up definitely had the glow up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you knew who to focus on. That Deke O'Malley's right hand man was played by Teddy Carpenter. Teddy Carpenter is one of those guys who was around forever.
Yeah.
You've seen him in a whole bunch of TV shows, and then somewhere around the early 90s, he just passed away. He was smooth. And you never see Teddy look that smooth. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who had the glow up had the glow up because there was a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to just show you but white people took the wrong thing from that movie. And they decided all the characters that were black had to be over the top. It gave us two things. It gave us Luke Cage because a lot of the writers seen what those blaxploitation movies were doing, especially something like Cotton Comes to Harlem, and they wrote Luke Cage sort of in those broad strokes along with broad characters. So like one of Luke Cage's villains in the early days was a guy that looked like Barry White. Yeah. And he was trying to kill Luke Cage with platform shoes. And the other one was a heavyset black woman called I think she was played by Alfie Wood in the TV show, but in the comics she was about as big as Lizzo. And she wore like a night dress, like somebody who had to go to bed. Mm-hmm. And she was trying to kill Luke Cage. These are the villains that he had. So somebody was looking at Chester Himes stuff and going, yeah, we have to have broad villains like that. And then the other thing that it did was it changed the Falcon, Sam Wilson, which was Captain America's partner for years. Now, when Sam Wilson was originally invented, he was sort of like this upstanding black guy who was trapped on an island and met Captain America, and Captain America helped him get it back to New York. He lived up in Harlem. And he would school Captain America on how racist he was every once in a while. You don't understand, Cap. Yeah. Black folks are suffering, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And the 70s showed up, and somebody decided, hey, we got a black guy here. Let's change him more like into Superfly. Who, the Falcon? You mean college educated Sam Wilson, social worker / superhero? That guy? What do you mean? And all of a sudden they turned him into a guy named Snap Wilson, who in the past, before he met Captain America, was a drug dealer / pimp / something else, who ended up on the island that met, when he met Captain America, because his plane crashed as he was on his way to Brazil for a drug deal.
God. Right.
And Cap found this out because Red Skull told him. He says, your partner has been a villain this whole time. And I manipulated his mind and I changed him something. And that was supposed to mess Cap up. Come on now. We know what Cap really would have said. Cap would have been like, yeah, I knew he was already a criminal. He's black. And he was just kind about it. He just kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? You heard me. What you heard me for?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody was PC before the 2000s.
But it destroyed the character because the character was noble.
Right.
And they've been trying to clean that up forever. And it's still there. Like every once in a while, a person would go, yeah, Snap. And Falcon would just kind of look at him because you had white writers who didn't understand. Harlem's not that big.
Right.
So you watched it on the screen and you figured the same Harlem they gave you the characters from Cotton Comes to Harlem, also gave you Tommy Gibbs from a movie called Hell Up in Harlem, that also gave you Shaft and gave you Shaft's big score and Bumpy Johnson. It's not a small city. It's a bunch of blocks in New York, but it's not that big.
Yeah.
So if Snap Wilson, aka Falcon, was that big of a player in the drug game, he couldn't be a superhero.
Right.
Because people, hey, yo, Snap, what you wearing that costume for?
Yeah.
He would walk around to Sam Wilson and they would go, no, dude, your name is Snap. You crazy. You smacked my sister last week. Don't you still owe me money? Everybody would know him.
Right.
But see, the white writers didn't know that. They looked at what was on the screen and they go, oh, look at these over-the-top characters. And this a movie like Cotton Comes to Harlem.
Yeah.
And we need to have that in Marvel.
Yeah.
No, you need to have that. You need to leave that shit alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Right
good
what
where
you
it
know.
was.
Right what
Yeah,
you know.
right what you know. Now, mind you, they gave us Luke Cage and sort of fixed him. He's been fixed. Some places in the TV show he's been boring, but they fixed him. And they sort of fixed Falcon by just basically ignoring that stuff. But it's the direct result of them watching these movies that I love. Mm-hmm. But I also understand.
Right.
You took the wrong message from those movies. Those movies was about y'all. While y'all rewriting black characters, they writing about y'all.
Yeah.
Because if you look, there's a subtle racism. Like you can tell Chester Hunt does not trust Deke O'Malley. Now, Deke O'Malley's story mirrors two different figures. And they keep bringing them up. So just in case you don't know, it mirrors Marcus Garvey with the Back to Africa scheme. Mm-hmm. And it mirrors Malcolm X with the ex-criminal becoming a reverend / preacher. Mm. So you could tell, and I don't know this for a fact, but somewhere in the back of his mind, you could tell he did not trust either situation. Now, Garvey is revered nowadays.
Yeah.
But if you think about those guys in the early part of the century, early 1900s, when he was out there, 1920s and stuff,
right?
They thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
Go back to Africa. What, are you crazy?
Yeah.
We got a life here. You know, Booker T and them was like, no. We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he started making some questionable moves later on with some of the associations that he made. So, you know, that would have to play on a guy like Chester Hind's mind.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a Back to Africa thing. Then also the fact is he might have been around when Malcolm X was out there in them streets.
Yeah.
And since, like I said, Harlem being small as it was, now all of a sudden he's on TV preaching the word of black empowerment. He's probably like, yeah, he's full of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know that dude. That what? Please, what kind of scam you running?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And those two are combined into a character like Deke O'Malley. Yeah. And also you had a situation where, like I said, the religious thing. Like, you notice how everybody in there.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Well, no, you. I love listening to this because I feel like there's so much in this. It felt very much like satire, right? And it very much felt like holding up a mirror. One of the other things that I loved about this film is, like, I always say, like, when we watch older films, it's such a great snapshot of what life used to be like and how the landscape of the neighborhood was and what the makeup of the neighborhood was. So I always love seeing that sort of like in the historical context. And it's so funny because we're always like, we watched it and we're like, Harlem doesn't look like that anymore. Nope. You know? That's like a bygone era, but it's nice to see it, right? It's nice to see how it used to look.
The chicken man.
And then you have all these other kind of layers. And as far as religion, so me being Hispanic, religion was very important to, like, my parents, and I grew up very going to church and all this stuff. So seeing it here, religion obviously is a large part of the Black experience in this country. And it's unfortunate, right? Because you have these, like, charlatan preachers, right? That are just like, Jesus told me to build an amusement park for Christians only. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then you have people that just, because this is how they were brought up and this is what they believe. So it's like, well, Reverend Deke is going to take care of us. He's going to do all this stuff.
Well, Deke was working his scam.
Right.
Because, like, he stayed working his scam because even though Iris put him in jail and claimed he murdered somebody, he was still trying to give her a plate of food.
Yeah.
He was like, feed Sister Iris. Because he was still trying to work he knew all he needed to do was give her a little bit. And all the sisters was like, well, I don't know, because she a Jezebel. Like, I don't know, we should be feed. No, sis, you need to feed her. Yeah. But you could tell he had a disdain, meaning the writer, Chester Himes.
Yeah.
Because he had a shootout in the church.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
yes.
every black staple in this movie, he disrespected. It was disrespected in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, the church was stupid. The cops were dumb.
Yeah.
The church, he had a shootout in the church. Like, who films that?
Yeah.
Especially at that time period.
Yeah.
Like, they had secret panels in the church. It was an underground basement. It was good. It was like, it made me want to look at the Reverend second. What's he about? Like, how you got podiums that turn into little? No, come on, man. What kind of church you running? Forget about Deke O'Malley. What you doing? and what's sister doing with the chicken? What's she putting in there?
They walking crazy. I loved it though. To me it was so over the top. And so question for you.
Yeah.
Do you consider this a blaxploitation movie?
No, but it was because it's sort of like, okay, a lot of people feel the first blaxploitation movie is Sweetback's. How does this go? It's Sweetback's. It's a lot of Sweetbacks.
Yeah.
It's like, God bless the dead. He's the first one who set up the formula.
Right.
That all the movies follow behind it. Some people think it was Slaughter, but Slaughter sort of had all the formulas that you get from a blaxploitation movie. He went after the man. He was wronged. He had sex with white women, and he kicked Whitey's ass and got away with murder and went off and drove her in a fat ass car. I mean, when you can get away with Stella Stevenson, especially at that time,
yeah,
you the man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they used to call her N Lover.
Yeah.
Because she'd be in those movies with those black guys. She's like, hey, it's Jim Brown. But this movie predates all of that.
Right.
Sweetback might have been earlier, but this was 1970.
I just looked it up. Sweetback's Badass Song is from 1971. Mario Van Peebles.
Right. See, and Cotton Comes to Harlem is 1970.
Yeah.
And it's just a black movie.
Yeah. Well, so the reason I asked that is because, like, my interpretation, I guess, of blaxploitation is it would have to have like white cops, right? Which this doesn't. And that's another interesting thing here. You have two black men who are part of this system that's still oppressive, but they're. Did you freeze?
You froze.
You froze on my screen, but I could still hear you.
Oh, okay. All I saw was. I was waiting for the credits to start rolling.
Oh no, not yet. So you have that, and again, that part's interesting because you have these two black characters that are part of kind of a system that oppresses the people, but they're all about truly protecting and serving the community. Well, because they understand, people. Right? So you don't have that outside person. You have someone from the community that's going to champion the community because whatever. And it didn't matter that Reverend Deke was like popular and whatever. They just wanted to get to the bottom of it. They wanted to understand, and they wanted to make sure that that the people got their money back. And I loved how they swindled the mafia guy, too.
Yeah,
so that was great.
A minor part in this movie. Like, Deke O'Malley was the main villain, which why it doesn't pass as a blaxploitation movie. Right. There was no white women in it to have sex with. Right. There was some nudity with Iris, but not what you would get with a regular blaxploitation movie. Right. And it wasn't no getting back at the man, which, because if that was the case, they wouldn't get the money from the mobster. They would have just killed his ass and then took the money back to the people and threw it like they threw them chickens. Yeah. So they didn't do all of that. Yeah. It was a little more subtle. So it was any other time, any other era. This is just a cop movie. Yeah. With some messages in it. Yeah. Well, that's what I love about it. It's very layered. It's very layered. And it's so many things, and you really have to watch it, and you really have to kind of like understand the history behind it and like the place and time and stuff. So like this hit like all my sweet spots. I was like, wow, this is really good. I knew you was gonna like it. That's why I said you should watch it. Because even the jokes that they threw in there, like
they
when
still
they had the
land.
car crash,
Jesus.
Yeah, when they had the car crash after the car chase, which is the first thing they do, they run into watermelon. They got stopped by watermelon. You know what I'm saying? It's like and little kids on bicycles who look like jockeys, by the way. You know, we're a baseball team. If you notice they look like jockeys, what baseball team looks like that? And then, like, they had the colorful things that you would see in the street. Now, I'm old enough to remember these things existed when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You had the chicken guy, for instance. We didn't have a chicken guy, but we used to have a guy that came around in a fruit truck. And he would it's a big ass truck, and he'd drive through your neighborhood, and everybody come out like the ice cream man, and they get their fruit from him. And there was a guy that used to drive around in a truck, and he would shine up and what's the word I'm looking for? He would sharpen your knives.
Yes.
And I remember my mother used to be like, go out there, the guy that sharpened that guy out there, and he'd sharpen your knives up with the truck. He'll do your lawnmower. I mean, these were like the small businesses of your neighborhood. Yeah. So when you see the guy out there measuring people with coats, you're like, who does that? And you're like, yeah, that was a thing. It was a thing. Guy out there measuring for the coat, sell you the coat right off the street. Yeah. He probably had a business right there, but you didn't see the business part. Yeah. You just seen when he got lifted. And you also had like little scam artists who, some of which went on to like star in bigger movies. Like Cleavon Little. I know. Was this his first movie? It was like, he's so young. It was his first movie. He was so young. Movie. Yeah, and then you even had Will Smith's mother. Did you peep that? There was a scene when they were arguing and when they wanted Deke O'Malley out. Okay. And there was one of the girls that stepped up. She had a big ass afro. That was the girl that played Will Smith's mother in the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Original Aunt Viv? Yeah, no, not Aunt Viv, his mother. Oh, his mother. I don't think I remember her. Sure you did, because she still comes around. She was in this new version of Bel-Air, too. Oh, was she? I didn't see it. Yeah, she's been around since the 70s. She's been on General Hospital. I would Google her, but it would take too damn long. But I'll look her up. But yeah, people know who she is. She had a speaking part. Probably her movie debut as well. Oh, wow. It's like you watch the movie and you go, this is 1970, and you look at all these people and you go, I know that guy. I know her. Yeah, I know that one. I also like how, like I said, the movie, it's old and the themes are old, but because we keep coming back to the same thing over and over again, you have the charlatan who believe in me because only I can do it. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. You have the militant group. Yes. Who doesn't seem to do anything but stand around doing nothing. Yeah. Okay. You have the Black to Africa group, who turns out to be a bunch of scam artists, which is, I know I'm gonna get hate for this, but some of those Black Lives Matter people, who not really Black Lives Matter people. Yeah. And the most important one, and the most subtle one of them all, was the white hippies. The white people who joined a Black situation and ain't nobody asked them to be there. Now you see the guy roll out there with the ERA, and they were more mad for the Black people than the Black people were themselves. Does that shit sound familiar? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's called the internet. Yeah. Every time somebody white does something and Black people go, like the guy in Virginia, the governor, he supposedly wore the blackface, and all people was like, we want him fired. And all the Black people said, no, hold on. So you wore blackface, right? He's like, yeah. I'm sorry. No, okay, we understand that. But this is what we want. And they had a list for him. And because he screwed up wearing the blackface, he couldn't tell them no. Right. Because otherwise, those Black people would have been like, no, you're getting the hell out of here then. Right. So it was sort of like, it was blackmail. Right. And they got what they wanted out of it, where if they would have followed their white friends just wanted them gone. Right. The whole cancel culture, which is not really a word. And I hate using that. Sorry. It's just a quick way of saying it because it doesn't exist. Just like when people say wokeism. Wokeism is stupid. Yeah. You took Black people's words and you twisted them because we used to say, stay woke, brother, because it was a joke. It was almost like a side joke because we were saying, stay woke, brother, to look out for your ass. And now for y'all to run around saying wokeism, they couple everything with wokeism. Yeah. And it's not. Yeah. Just as soon as that's wokeism. No, it's
As soon as Fox
America.
News starts pumping that on the daily cycle.
They make it so generic.
Yeah.
It's like taking the word wilding. Yo, you wilding, son.
Yeah.
And you turn it to wilding. Nobody want to say that no more. You're wilding. Like, oh, God. You know what I'm saying? It's the same
People
thing with
ruin
the word
everything.
woke. Yeah, they do. It's like, yo, stay woke, son. Yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? But it was a joke. You dealing with like guys that was holier than thou. They so super smart and all. So you were like, yo, stay woke, my brother. And you're like, yeah. Whatever, motherfucker. Pass me a bean pie. And shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because no one really listened to that.
I know.
You know. So you would say it to your friend as a joke, be like, yo, stay woke. And be like, yo, I'm woke. I'm woke on these nuts, you know? Or whatever. They just walk away. But you had, like, it's like he threw those white guys in there. Now, where did the white cowboy come from in Harlem? That he just happened to be walking by and see a bunch of black people protesting, went and called his other white friends. And if you notice, they all had peace signs.
Yes.
Right? But they were the most violent ones out of everybody there.
Yeah.
Because that's what white people do, and black protest. They get more violent and do dumb shit, and black people go, that's not what we asked for.
Yeah.
You know, like, this Wendy's needs to go, and they set the Wendy's on fire. I didn't ask you to burn the Wendy's.
Yeah.
We just said Wendy's was racist, and we need to change it.
Right.
Why'd you burn the Wendy's down? Well, I'm going to go back over here. Yeah, of course, yeah. You just burn the Wendy's down. Now I can't eat.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, they
travel into these neighborhoods, create mayhem, and then just
they leave.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what those guys were.
And you know what the funny thing, well, not the funny thing, but it's ironic that this continues to this day.
To this day.
To this
so
day.
I said, it was a crime movie, but I knew once you watched it, that you was going to see all the other stuff that was in there, which is why I said, now you need to watch this movie. I knew you was like, Cotton Comes to Harlem.
I know. I was like, what is this?
This is shit. It'll be a cartoon? Why is there a gun there? Cartoon?
Well, I got to be honest. So I've never seen this movie. This is my first time. And I originally, for some reason, my mind, because it's like the 70s, I was like, oh, is this blaxploitation? Which I'm more than happy to watch, but I was like, I wasn't sure. So then I'm watching it and I'm like, I don't know. Is it just it? And that was like that was like the really interesting thing about this film. Like, it really is like an onion. There's so many layers here to look at and just really think about. And like, man, hats off to Ossie Davis. He did such a great job. I mean, I've never read the book. Have you read the book?
Not this particular book.
Okay.
I
was going to ask you if you had, if it's close to the source material. I'm always curious, like when people adapt stuff, like how close it is to the source material. But not even having read the book, I was thoroughly entertained, and I was like, ooh, like, you know, when you watch stuff and it's like, you know, when somebody's doing something and it's like thinly disguised as something else, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if people understood what that meant.
Also, like when Deke, the main villain, well, not the other main villain, which I can't remember the white guy's name, who went on, by the way, to do a shitload of TV, mostly starring Aaron Spelling. I think he beat up McLeod or something. He was like McLeod's boss. McLeod! The rival for the money. Yeah. He ends up in blackface.
Yes.
You know
that was another thing I wanted to discuss, that scene. And also... kind of in that area too, where Iris's friend, the one that works in the dance hall, does that whole routine with the cotton bale, and I was like,
that was about freedom. She was exotic. It was about freedom.
Yeah,
she goes from picking cotton to basically what the song says. There's a song in the trailer where the guy yells out, "Cotton, we're gonna kick cotton in the butt," and that's kind of what the song says at the end. We're gonna kick cotton in the butt. Yeah. She kicks cotton in the butt. She rips off the chains of her oppressors and dances on the cotton bale like she danced on his grave. And then she's free to live her blackness, which she reveals her black hair, her black skin, her more native clothes. Yeah. You know, more of her 70s, more 70s clothes, I guess we could say, at the time, as opposed to those big ass bags she was wearing. You know, where she was first started off in a dance. Also, she's just a strip.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's just that. We don't want to make too much about it. Homegirl just, at the end of the day, she just wanted to show them butt cheeks.
She just wanted, she just wanted to mix it up. Like when her friend came before, she's like, this doesn't speak to me. Wanted to do something that spoke to her people, and I was like, what is this gonna be? So so there's all the the little subtle nuances of that scene and stuff like that, and then again, is it Calhoun? Calhoun was the white guy. Yeah. So when he comes in blackface, okay, I've seen it, and yet, and it's obviously been part of popular culture for a very long time, but even to see it now, I don't have the perspective of somebody seeing this particular film in the 70s, but as somebody with my own life experiences and seeing it now and whatnot, it's still so jarring. And so it takes you back because it's like, oh, this is bad. Okay. What are you doing?
And it's the fact that it's an actor that you see after this on regular TV shows. Right. Right. And he would supposed to get canceled. As they would say, oh, we found this old tape of you in blackface. It was a job. It's you don't arrest the guy who did Deep Throat. Right. It was a job. I'm an actor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I didn't know she was being abused. You know what I'm saying? That's I got paid like she did. So that's what we do now. We sort of we would cancel him because he did the blackface and he just get paid for it.
Well, I don't think a movie. Well, okay, question for you. Would a movie like this be able to be made today?
I wish they would make this movie over again.
But could it be made today?
Oh yeah, but they would take certain things out. Yeah, they would take certain things out.
I don't know. We were having this discussion about Tropic Thunder. I feel like that hit at a certain point, and it's you couldn't make that movie now. You could not make that movie now.
But they would take out the blackface scene because they would know at this point. See, back then you got
that wasn't so long ago.
No, it wasn't. But you get the impression that, well,
it was 2008.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If you get the impression that in Cotton Comes to Harlem, no white man can come to Harlem. So the only way he could infiltrate the Apollo Theater would be through blackface.
Right.
Which is bullshit. Right now, white people walk up and down Harlem.
Right.
So he wouldn't have to do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. The landscape is very different now than what it used to be.
It's completely different than what it used to be.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have to infiltrate it through blackface. He would just walk up in there and try to get his money through that bale of cotton.
Right.
But yeah, there would be other things. It wouldn't be as layered. It wouldn't be as subtle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They would probably press more on Deke O'Malley. And the fact that, let's keep it real. As much as Godfrey Cambridge and Raymond St. Jacques are great actors, and it's really due to them. Mm-hmm. Gravedigger and Coffin Ed are really shitty people. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Why?
They are heroes, right?
Okay.
But they're not really nice.
No.
But
I think that comes with the job, though. You can't really be nice when it's your job to be kind of an extension of the oppressor, but at the same time, in a way that's you have to let your community know, we're here for you guys, but then you still get backlash from the community because it's oh, well, you sold out. You're part of that machine.
They would be those cops that we see on the news every night, the black ones who choke black people out before they've been convicted of a crime. And when we say when we say Black Lives Matter, we don't say Black Lives Matter because white cops are killing us. We say Black Lives Matter because the police are killing us.
Yeah.
So they would fit that. They would be one of those guys. Yeah. They would be videotaping them, smacking the shit out of Iris. Yeah. And let's face it, he's gonna be shit out of Iris.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why if you notice,
that was also jarring to watch because it's I've seen scenes where
he's so smooth and he's got that deep voice and Iris. And they throw quips back and forth. Get off the train. But if you notice, there's two things that they do to her. One says a line and he sits down. The other one says a line and shows her his gun. When he pulls his pants leg up, Gravedigger's gun is showing.
Yeah.
And he says, get off the tree. He says, do yourself a favor and get off the boat. And he shows her the gun. What?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I love these two actors and I love their chemistry together.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know what they're doing for the people.
Right.
But for them to get there, they would also be, to some people, they would be the enemy.
Right.
And then when Iris gets the phone and she's like, baby, and then he gets up and he smacks her. That's not really a good smack because obviously he didn't want to hurt her in real life.
Yeah.
But he smacks her. And then he's about to punch the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And what did she say? She's like, he's crazy. He's crazy. And he is crazy.
Yeah.
Because then Gravedigger got to calm him down. And, you know, after she throws a drink in his face and he goes, we got him. He said, today, tomorrow, next week, we got him. And they're going to kill him. There was no Deke's going to jail. We're going to kill Deke.
Yeah.
Because Deke took everybody's money.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to get the money back and we're probably going to put a bullet in him.
Yeah.
In Rage Against Harlem, Rage in Harlem, they play it for more comedic effect.
Yes.
Where the first thing you hear them say, and it's George Wallace, and I cannot remember the other actor's name, who played Gravedigger and Coffin Ed. The first thing they say is, we're coming in and we're killing everybody. They let you know that these are the characters in the book. Yeah. We're killing everybody. Somebody, Gergie Hines calls him up and he goes, this might get bloody. And he goes, as long as me and Ed walk out of here, I don't care about nobody else. Yeah. We got to go. They come in with the guns blazing, shooting. So, like I said, in the 70s, they wanted to make them a little more heroic. But if you read the underlying pinnings, these dudes is crazy. You know what I'm saying? They pull their gun out. My man says, don't step on my ribs. But he's about to have a shootout in the middle of a crowd of people.
Do you think it's part of the job that makes them crazy, or is it that time and place, or is it like a combination of the job, who they are, what they represent? Like, what do you think? Like, if they weren't cops, like if they were, I don't know, butchers. I mean, they'd still have the frustration of being black men in America, but
I don't think it would be butchers because remember, Ed is crazy because if you read in the books, Ed's crazy because he got acid thrown in his face.
Okay. Fair enough. I'd probably be nuts too.
Right. From working the job. And Gravedigger's a little more mysterious of why he is what he is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it comes from the job. I don't think they would be that way if they was butchers or undertakers or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. This is nuts. Yeah. Like, because they're feeling the pressure of protecting their people and having to keep them, like they have to help them, mm-hmm. but they also have to be outside of them. They have to protect them from the criminals who would take advantage of them, but they also have to protect them from the racist cops. Right. They would do far worse than what they're doing because they know that the cops are all racist. But it makes you wonder, if you can smack a chick, I was supposed to say something else. If you can smack a chick and beat the hell out of another man, because when they catch up to Deke, he beats the shit out of Deke. Yep. To the point that Deke can barely talk. Right. These people, they're trying to kill me. He's delirious. I could have been another Malcolm. 5 minutes ago, when the white man got caught on the stage with blackface, he goes, hey, look at it. It's a white man. Yeah. In blackface. Yeah. Come up here trying to steal black people's money. Yeah. Do what you want, one of them people. Yeah. And they whip that white man's ass, right? Until they come in and they basically say to it, right, as they should. 5 minutes later, after he runs into Ed, he talking like this. There's the people. I could have been another. Give me the microphone. They trying to kill Deke O'Malley. All of a sudden, they can't talk. Yeah. How hard was Ed hitting him? Like, you know how much anger that is? Like, he must have been just wailing. That's some Mike Tyson shit he put on him. Like, he can't think straight. My brain it don't work right no more. He's trying to kill me. I could be another Malcolm. And he laying on the floor. Don't leave me. And they get up and they all walk away from him.
That's hilarious.
Because that's what you have to do with a cult of personality. You have to turn them loose after they destroy themselves. When they show you who they are, you have to leave. Yeah. Leave that shit alone and then learn from it.
Well, the other nice thing in that scene that I loved was that the people understood what was going on and moved away from it, right?
Moved away from it.
And unfortunately, in our place in history, we're not in that point yet where people are moving away from the crazy.
But it's also bad in a way because but by the time they got to the Apollo show, wasn't near one black person talking about that damn money no more.
That's true.
They threw a bunch of chickens at them Negroes, and they was good.
Yeah.
He said, what he said to the white boy? He said, "Shut up, white boy. I'm talking about my money."
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't that same black guy? Wasn't he one of the people that had a chicken? Yes. Didn't he have a lot of chicken? When he threw all the chickens in the air and threw the chickens at them to walk away, he said, "Walk away." He said, "We make you a promise. We're going to get you your money." And when the white boys started acting crazy, they had to shoot at the white boys and make them go away. And the other one threw chickens at everybody so they had a meal so they can take their mind off their money. And nobody was, and next you know, they all at that Apollo having a good time. $87,000 is gone. Almost.
That's like $1 million back in the day.
In the 1970s? Oh my God.
No wonder
you know what you could do
Uncle Bud went to Ghana and just started his harem.
King.
Yeah.
Became a king. And that's how Red Fox lived in real life.
Did he really?
The end of that movie was Red Fox's real life. That was him wearing his real clothes. If you look, all that jewelry was his. That was Red Fox's jewelry. He didn't make that shit up. He was like, "Yo, look,
I gotta be me.
I ain't coming on set no more. Come to my house and just film this shit. I wear my regular clothes. You gotta shave and everything."
That ending was so over the top. I was laughing my ass off.
But and mind you, that is the ending from the book because I had to check.
That wasn't?
That is the ending in the book. But yeah, they forgot all about the money. They should have still been out there protesting. What you at a strip show for at the Apollo for? $87,000 are gone. And mind you, didn't they put the word out to go look for a bale of cotton? And there's a bale of cotton on the damn stage.
Yep.
Everybody should have been rushing that stage. Oh shit, money. Yep, they didn't do it. Yeah. They watched this girl flash her booty up on the stage and sing about Cotton Comes to Harlem.
Well, some things are more important.
Yeah, well, booty is always important, but $87,000 of black people's money was gone.
That's true.
And they forgot about it. Yeah. And that is the problem with black folks sometimes. Is we've
priorities.
Been
Priorities.
Yes, we've been getting hit on the chin so many damn times that we wake up and we go, "It's another day in paradise."
Yeah.
And so we expect to get smacked up. And we survive.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It gets tiring after a while.
Oh, sure.
That's why every once in a while, black people just kind of lose their shit. You'd be like, "He did what?"
Yeah.
That was the one that couldn't take it. He just popped.
Yeah.
You know, and that pretty much everybody outside of our main characters. That was what they were trying to tell you. Everybody else in that movie imploded.
Yeah.
Iris at one point was staring at a ring. She still couldn't let that shit go.
Yeah.
"Iris, baby. Iris, untie me. Untie me, baby. And me and you can go away together and get our people's money." "No, okay." She put the knife to his throat. And he said, "Iris, baby. Iris, look in my pocket. Look in my pocket." When did he have time to buy a ring? And
I thought he took it from the widow's house.
He might have, but it was
he's putting on her husband's dead clothes. I was like,
yes.
You got some nerve.
She looked like my man. I miss him. Who gonna take care of me? Look, if this was another movie, I would have found her bent over. You know what I'm saying? It's like Deke O'Malley.
Yes.
Now, Deke
there was so much
artist.
Going on here. It was crazy.
He's a scam artist, but I give him credit. He was at least true in this respect. He was focused on the money. He was focused on the crime. He was focused on his scam. He didn't want anything else.
No. But everything else was secondary.
If Iris did not walk in there, if she had waited 10 more minutes, that big ass shirt he was wearing was going to be up in the air, and that woman was going to be bent over a couch. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because at that point, he's like, "Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm about this money, but if she going to put her lips on me, I'd say, hey."
The ends justify the means.
And what did he say? He said the same shit that every man said when he get caught. "Iris, baby, I was getting ready. I called you first." He was quick. He couldn't even lie right. This is a man that scammed $87,000 out of people. And when he got caught by his girl with another woman, his mouth went. He couldn't even lie right. And "Iris, I called you first. You was a liar." You know what I'm saying? As soon as this woman came in, that's what happens to men. We get stupid. We don't know nothing. It wasn't me. That's about the closest we ever got. It wasn't me. Because and then Deke, what happened? Deke got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
She knocked her out with the shit. Iris is a murderer.
Yes.
I mean, the woman wasn't dead.
Yes, and she was trying to get Deke to take the rap for it. Yeah. Good for her. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Sure, but remember, Deke wasn't trying to have sex.
True.
I understand if Deke was trying to cut out of the money.
Yeah.
Deke did call her first, which means at least on that level, he was all about some Iris. Now I don't know if he was cheating, but like I said, the opportunity was offered to him.
Yeah.
And like most men,
they're gonna run with it.
He gonna run with it. Yeah. He said, "All right, I'm not about this life, but I was in jail for a minute, so and spice variety is the spice of life." So she's like, "What am I gonna do?" Colonel John been dead 2 hours.
I know.
And you already trying to have sex with somebody, and mind you,
and he's sending her out on errands to go spy.
She just met Deke.
Crazy.
She officially met Deke that day, the day her husband died. Brother John, only person that got shot at the shootout. Everybody else knew how to run but John. It's like hundreds of people, even the rib man knew how to duck. Don't step on my ribs.
Yeah.
He was still cooking, which just shows you black people ain't shit. I love black people, but we stay focused on the wrong thing. In the middle of a shootout, cars are rolling down the street. The funeral man puts his suit on. He's like, I got business coming. Okay. They shooting armored truck. No, it's a big ass van, armored truck, and our two heroes, Gravedigger and Cotton. They all driving and shooting at each other. 3 black women walking like they fashion models down the street. Guy sees them. He in love with all 3 of them.
Sure.
Nobody's ducking.
Yeah.
That just shows you how used to black people were so used to gunshots. Nobody was ducking.
No.
And then my man.
It's like they could gauge it. I think I still have like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I was like, they gonna get. And then he falls his love right on the tree. Oh, my heart for my black sisters. And only one woman looked sideways. She kind of looked and said, maybe we should be running. Is that bullets? You know, and then the bullets all around his head. I didn't understand what that was there for. Just to show you how, like, we didn't give a shit? I don't know. Because there was people in the street.
That to me was like the satire, right? That scene, the scene where the guy, the pickpocket, is like cutting that woman's skirt to get to her. Like, all of that was like satire and like over exaggerated.
You caught who that was, right?
Who?
The woman to get in the skirt caught.
Oh, what's her name?
227.
Yes.
She should have been hanging in that window.
Yeah. She's been in a lot of stuff. I was like, I know. I felt like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Like, I was like, I know her.
Yeah. Still, black people would have ran. We ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
true.
We're not so used to gunshots and crime that we wouldn't have been like, oh, no, we out.
Yeah.
They shooting.
Yeah.
Be like that Nas record. They shooting.
It's like that, what was it, that Eddie Murphy skit? When he's talking about like horror movies, he's like, black people would have been naked down the block. Meanwhile, the white person's like, oh, is that a stain? Let me like wash it out.
I've seen that. I've seen white people ask that question. Like, when you thought it was like, okay, it's a side story. It's not about the movie. Right. But this is about the focus on how we get down. Skate Key, which is a magical place that used to be in the Bronx. It's no longer exists because people don't know how to act. And Friday night used to have dance night. So I remember one time me and my friends were going to Skate Key. They didn't normally skate. We just dancing and looking and drinking. And we're leaving. It's the end of the session. Place is shut down. There's cops everywhere. Because it's like Yankee Stadium. Every time they close down, there was cops out there because they've had problems before.
Sure.
So as we're walking towards my friend's car, without even looking back, all we hear is bang, bang, bang. And we just all off start running. We never look back. Sure. Never look back. Okay? White guy, police officer, looks at me and he goes, what's going on over there? I said, motherfucker, you the police? Go find out.
Yeah, seriously.
And I kept running. And he starts walking slowly over there towards it. Now, mind you, 1, it is your job. 2, what makes you think I care?
Yeah.
Once they start shooting,
Yeah,
I'm gone.
I'm moving away from the noise.
Yes. I'm not trying to be nowhere near there. You know, come to find out, was a guy ended up crashing his truck into Skakey, which was hilarious because he broke his whole axle and everything fell apart.
Yikes.
But the point is, I'm not going to check, police officer. That is your job.
Right.
Get running. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass over there. And, you know, and that's what I've seen in every situation. White people always want to kind of investigate. And black people kind of don't. That's what you seen in the movie. It was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Where there was a whole lot of people not really caring about what the other stuff was going on.
Yeah.
Like even the drug addict you see in the street in the movie, who makes a few appearances actually. Is he going back to Africa? No.
Yeah.
He's trying to get himself locked up.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Like when I was a kid, I used to see those guys nodding in the street. Yeah, and it's the reason why I don't do drugs. I didn't realize it at the time, but as I got older, I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm already out of control. Like,
nobody's got time for this.
Right, like if you listen to like 5 minutes of this whole thing, this whole podcast, you realize that I'm out of control. and there's a child listening somewhere, so I'm trying to be as subtle as possible.
Don't worry about it. We don't make this podcast for children, even though sometimes children do appear on it. But so, Cotton Comes to Harlem. If you're gonna rate this 1 to 10, what are you gonna give it?
I say about 8. It's not a perfect movie. I mean,
I was going to say 7.5. It's not perfect, but from where it starts to where it ends up, the stories, I mean, for something that's written from a novel from the 60s, translated to a movie in the 70s, is a lot going on here, and it really, really works. The jokes still land, the social commentary's there. That whole snapshot of what of Harlem in the 70s looks like. Really great first effort for director Ossie Davis, who of course had this fantastic career as an actor, but just really, really well done here. I'm really surprised and delighted. I have a thing about like actor directors. Like I just saw with my kids the documentary for World Central Kitchen, and I'm always fascinated by actors that become directors because it seems like such a perfect segue, and there's so many that do it well. Not everybody, but so many do it well, and I think Ossie Davis really had a handle on like the source material, the script which he participates in, and just getting those actors to do what was needed. I don't know what the film careers were for a lot of these actors in the film, but they did such a bang up job here.
I mean, when you think comedy, you don't think Ossie Davis.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Like, so this was definitely like a departure. So, and it's funny, like sometimes like I sometimes forget that Sidney Poitier also directed movies, and then you look at his filmography as a director and it's like, oh, you made that? That's so wild to me.
Well, we can't watch his movies nowadays because his 3 most popular ones star Bill Cosby.
Oh.
And that's Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, and Piece of the Action.
But we can watch, what is
Buck and the Preacher.
Wait, didn't he direct Stir Crazy?
He did.
Yeah, we can watch that. I love me some Gene Wilder and some.
Well, I was just talking about the ones that he was actually in.
Oh, no. I meant like just as a director.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. But he also had like a really fantastic career. I loved him.
Oh yeah.
It's so sad that he passed.
Well, I wish he did to do one more movie, but you know he was chilling in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
He was done. He was done with America.
I don't blame him. Did you ever watch that, again, off on a tangent, the James Baldwin documentary?
No. It kept moving around. It started off on Amazon, then it was on Netflix.
You know what? If you can find it, I actually saw it on YouTube, believe it or not.
See?
And if you can find it, you know what? It might be on Tubi. I love Tubi. Tubi is like my jam.
Tubi.
I love Tubi.
I got to put up with Tubi every night because a certain person in my household, as I'm looking at her, she watches every damn thing on Tubi, and it's all bad.
No, what are you talking about?
Man,
There's tons of good shit on Tubi.
Every disaster movie on the planet is on Tubi. And then,
I mean, there's some questionable movies on there, but there are some gems. There are some gems.
Anything that says produced by the Asylum, turn that shit off right away. The Asylum, the budget is so bad. Roger Corman is like, that's cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Their budget is terrible. Like, they got computer graphics that don't even match. The dinosaurs be walking sideways. You ever like them video games, like them old Atari games from the early 80s? Yeah, that's his Asylum budget. Like, you want to review a movie, review one of their movies. Airplane versus Volcano. What the fuck? What kind of shit is this?
We should do it. We should do it.
I don't have that much strength this week. But getting back to Cotton.
Cotton, yes.
I give it an 8 based on the lead actors.
Yeah.
Cambridge, Jacques, and Lockhart.
They had really good chemistry.
Yeah, they carry the movie.
Yeah.
Without those three, this movie doesn't work. And it's proof because the second movie, the lead villain isn't as good as Lockhart is. I mean, the other two guys, they do their job. You could see that Godfrey's a little off his game. He's kind of gained his weight back. Like I told you, in Ossie's version, he glows. Every other version, he's sort of just there.
Yeah. And
in the sequel, he's sort of just there. And the lead actor is not as good as Lockhart is.
Yeah.
He's sort of like he's doing he's almost like he's in another movie. He says the lines, he does the hustle shit, but it's like he doesn't have that flow. Like Lockhart is smooth. Yeah. Like Lockhart should have been something. Yeah. Last thing I remember seeing him in was Predator 2. Oh, where he plays a Jamaican gangster who gets his head cut off by the Predator. Yeah. Like, it's that guy, he's in the alley and the alien cuts his head off. But that's the last thing I remember. I mean, he passed away, but like, he was a very good actor. He keeps you, you almost kind of root for Deke.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If for Deke to get his shit together. Like, if he got his shit together,
he could have ruled the world.
And that was Chester Hines' argument. He wanted the movie to focus more on Deke than it was on the two police officers. But Warner Brothers, I think it was Warner, no, Golden, was trying to concentrate on making a franchise. So they had to concentrate on the two police officers. But yeah, that was his argument. Concentrate on Deke O'Malley. Because if you would have went the Deke route, you would have seen what they try to do subtly was to show you all the conflicts that he was going through. Right. 1 minute the man could be a hero. Next minute, he's Deke O'Malley. Which brings us all the way back to when he exposed the white man.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in that 5 minute period, he had everybody in the palm of his hand, and then he lost him that quick as soon as he touched the child. And all it takes was something as subtle as that. He hung himself. You didn't even get to see him go to jail. They just lowered the curtain on him. It's like, true, you didn't even have to see him go to jail. Like, it was over. Yeah. Nobody was coming to get him. There was no more last minute saves by Iris or the preachers or his lawyer or anybody. He's just gone. Yeah. Also, Ed beat the hell out of him. I cannot stress how much beating that man must have put on him. He man could move his fucking mouth. He's Deke O'Malley. They're trying to kill me. Try. He was punch drunk. He was punch drunk. It's like, how's he gonna see? If he had a good lawyer, that would be my argument.
There you go.
I'd be like, look, I was looking for that money. I got my ass beat. My head was spinning. I smacked the child. I'm sorry. Throw myself on the mercy of the court and the Lord. I said, you know what I'm saying? But this cop right here, he needs to go to jail. Yeah. Look what he did to my face. It's Deke O'Malley. I used to be pretty. Plus, it's kind of subtle. He wasn't pretty no more. So therefore, nobody wanted to listen to him. Right. He lost his glow. Yeah. Once he got his face beat in, the glow was gone. He was like showing enough and shit after he found out all the other guy was a master. So who's the master? It ain't you, Deke. You know, and Deke goes down. Way down the drain.
There you go. We are going to plug Sonny Chiba Likes to Draw.
No. It's Sonny Chiba, indie artist, on Instagram. Find me on Instagram at Sonny Chiba, the indie artist.
There you go.
By the way, my new obsession is Harry Styles.
I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, I don't want to have sex with him or nothing like that.
No, I don't either. But I want him to live next door to me.
I don't even want to go that far.
Really?
I just like his music.
I like his music too. I didn't think I would because I was like, what is this? But he won me over. He's charming in interviews and stuff.
Yeah. I like Adore, and I like Golden, and I like what's going on in the new album.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Also, as a side note, getting back to what we were talking about, if you get a chance, and I checked, go to Apple Music and look up Cotton Comes to Harlem.
Oh, that soundtrack's fucking banging.
They got it on Apple.
Nice. Thanks for the heads up.
Yes.
Wait, where else can people find you, Sonny Chiba?
You could find me on Facebook or in the Bronx hanging out getting drunk.
Or Twitter.
Or Twitter at Chiba37. I have to double check sometimes because I change my name a lot. Who am I?
Who you?
Am I? Well, on Twitter, I'm Sonny Chiba Likes to Draw.
Yes.
See, that's where you got me mixed up. Sonny Chiba Likes to Draw.
Yeah. Well, that's where we always communicate. So I'm like,
right. Yeah, because you don't
go follow him on Twitter. He's awesome. Buy his stuff.
Follow me on Instagram at Chiba Indie Artist because I like to do visuals more than anything else.
All right.
I know we talk forever, but I'm on TeePublic. I sell T-shirts. I'm sure there's gonna be links. Yeah, but I'm on TeePublic at the Rotten Apple Studios.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'll definitely post all your links in the blurb for this episode. But this has been a freaking delight. You and I have to do another movie next month.
Yeah, we have to get together because it's been a long time since we spoke.
Yeah.
Face to face.
Yeah. This is fun. Well, I don't know about face to face. I don't go anywhere. We can do the video chat.
This is face to face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this works.
To typing.
Yeah. Like I have a film discussion group on Wednesdays. I'm like, they're talking about meeting in person. I'm like, no, thank you. Like, if you guys do this works for me. Like, I don't have to go anywhere or do anything or do my hair or put on my face. I don't do none of that.
Yeah, well, I'm bold. I ain't got to worry about hair. I've never worried about hair since 1995.
Really?
Yeah, I shaved it.
Huh.
Yeah, you think it back. It was always a hat.
Was it? I was like, I'm trying to think. I'm like, I don't remember. No, I met you in the early 2000s, right? Yeah.
No, you knew me before that.
99. That's when I got that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was already
those
gone.
Are some crazy, crazy times.
Oh, that's a whole nother podcast.
Oh my God. I can't wait till you retire so that you can write your book.
Well, I would have to speak it because my writing shit is bad.
Oh, so get one of those programs. You just talk into it and let it transcribe for you.
I watch that shit explode. I'm like, oh my God, he won't stop.
You gotta change the names to say
stay
it to
focused. Oh hell no, I'm using all the names. Especially when it comes to your boss. Your old boss.
She was a freak show. My God.
Oh
my God.
Turn the table off, I'll tell you something.
All right, I want to hear this. So that's it from us, friends out in podcast land. Thank you for joining, and we'll come back with another review soon. Good night.
Bye.
And go check out Sonny everywhere.
Exactly.